primary to become a serious contender. So, yeah, he's a good messenger. Yeah, he's next generation. He's got a lot of great attributes, but he also has some liabilities he's got to deal with.
And the party is still, I mean, it's May, still really searching for a lane, a movement, a consistent message in this moment.
But I think it's sort of yeah, you know, seeing it versus what's your position and
Because mine's completely different than it is for some of the guys, whether it's Sosa or McGuire.
as people are bringing the message back to the people directly. People see it as a different way, which I think is really good.
Joe Biden to the books, right? Jake and Alex's book, former president's appearances, are they overshadowing that?
They're trying to overshadow a little bit. I think these governors understand that they're going to put Joe Biden behind and move forward to the party.
What do you think of this?
Well, I think that we'll know that he's running when he goes to South Carolina because that's where he's going to address those liabilities. But I think, you know, this is a process that is just beginning, and clearly a lot of people have interest. You can understand it. But I think, you know, when you look at the last 3 cycles, Democrats have won when they've had a robust primary. The voters have figured it out in 2016. And last year, there was no primary to speak of. And I think you see the results. So this is going to be a long process. But I think Democrats have no choice but to trust the process.
All right, we'll have lots of time to talk about in these months and years ahead. Let's take a look at what you're all keeping an eye on this morning. Let's kick it off.
I still try this. I don't know what's going to happen in terms of whether California is going to show its just call its bluff. And it seems like at this point,
Yeah, Turkey just got rolled. And the big question is, you know, what is Trump going to do? Does not show up. I suspect he's going to get put in another pass.
Ultimatum on that.
Well, we'll see if the Senate, the Senate's got the sanctions bill all teed up, the 70 co-sponsors. Let's see if the Senate moves.
we're domestic. You know, on New Orleans, New Orleans quarterback, the State's quarterback retired last week. Quarterback, he's going to be a competition. They're bringing in veterans. So the New Orleans Saints fans were very excited about the prospect of so we're coming back and we're going to have some fun. But
Because I'm not so good on the football, if you will. I reached out to a very important source, my 15-year-old son, Sawyer. Appreciate it. He said Tyler Show. He was talking about him. He thinks he has a higher chance to start now because Saints QB retired. So he's focusing on that.
good.
In case you want to know, he's a little freshman coming through. I mean, look in this building. Tyler's just down the hall. You gotta get that order, right?
We talk.
Yes, oh, I know you. We are, of course, also waiting. So Donald Trump on his way to retire, set to land any minute there. We have talked so much about this plane. There's even more now riding on this meeting. I wonder, did Qatar misjudge this? Does anybody think in the offering of the jet?
Well, if they want to have a relationship with this president, no, they certainly not. They judged him exactly right. This is the guy who puts the little replica of the newly designed Air Force One on the coffee table in his office in Mar-a-Lago, and now in the Oval Office. They know what matters to him. They know he wants a new refurbished plane before he leaves office in a few years. And they're trying to make this happen. They can't get crosswise with this president as they did during the first term. Trump decided to do it. So I think they're doing it. I think this is a barrier. It's back. Survive days. Spoken about it. Weeks and he wants to be seen as someone who's going to places where Joe Biden did not go. And clearly, they seem they have a relationship with these people. So I think it's a win for the president.
What else do you anticipate? Right, because Turkey, rightly focusing on it, that's obviously separate. But given that all of these things are happening in the same week, the momentum that provides for potentially other groups. What do you see for this administration?
Well, just the president that focuses on fields and investment, right? He's told him to speak yesterday. He said, you know, we're not going to let you know, we just want to just know that there's going to be more deals announced. A state that is not going to protest. I mean, he likes this region because it plays exactly to the foreign policy that he wants to deliver. On this one about the plane, that is sort of generating the news here that is overshadowing some of the more substantive accomplishments that they also want people to focus on.
It's also overshadowing what's happening at Capitol Hill this week, right? What we're seeing in terms of look, there needs to be a budget. We need this big beautiful bill.
Well, the reconciliation bill, that's the issue.
Thank you all. Thanks to all of you for joining me this morning, America Hill. I'm keeping all reporters stay warm on this Wednesday. Stay tuned. See you in Central. Start joining.
Very state. The president arrived in the country where he can thank them in person.
And they're going to stand returns to court for a second day of testimony. So far, from retelling what she says about a long abusive relationship with Trump Holmes has been emotional and graphic. And breaking overnight, freedom for the Menendez brothers is now a real possibility after a judge gave them a new sentence. What that means for the parole hearing they already have scheduled for early June. Sarah is out today. I'm Kate Baldwin with John Berman. This is CNN News Central.
The live look at the tarmac in Doha, the capital of Qatar. That is where President Trump is arriving in his second leg of his trip to the Middle East. Aircraft that has earned him unusual bipartisan criticism, and apparently kept him up all night posting on social media. More on that in just a moment. First, his historic meeting before leaving Saudi Arabia. He sat down with the new president of Syria after announcing he's lifting sanctions on that country, a move that inspires celebrations in the streets of Damascus overnight. This was the first face-to-face meeting between the leaders of the two nations in 25 years. Just 6 months ago, the U.S. had a $10 billion bounty on Ahmad al-Shara's head. Now, the former jihadist who seized control after the fall of the Assad regime is being welcomed by Trump with open arms. This is what the president said after the meeting. Sanctions, a potential seismic shift in U.S. policy in the Middle East, turning out a Qatar. The president is arriving there very shortly. He will get a chance to thank the Qataris in person for their offer of the gift of a $400 million luxury jet to use as Air Force One and maybe beyond. CNN's Becky Anderson joins us now live from the Qatari city of Doha, where the president will be very shortly.
The offer of that plane, but certainly this trip here by Donald Trump, efforts to underscore the importance of the relationship with Qatar. Will Qatar hold a myriad of mediation files which suit this U.S. administration and those in the past, not least, of course, that on Gaza and the mediation between, indirect mediation between the Israelis and, as I say, indirect until very recently, of course, because we now are aware that the US has been talking directly to Hamas, and the result of that was the release of the only living American hostage in Gaza to be released just last week, in Alexander. I've been told by a source very familiar with the matter, with knowledge of the matter, that there is an Israeli delegation here on the ground in Doha, along with Steve Witkoff and Adam Berler, who is, of course, the hostage negotiator for the United States, the Trump administration, in direct talks going on once again in Doha, just ahead of the president's arrival here. And we do expect that in the minutes to come. He has left Riyadh, where he once again underscores the importance of regional stability for the big players here, those in Riyadh, for the leadership here in Doha, and he will make the same. He'll make the same comments, I'm sure, when he gets to the UAE. These are nations with very ambitious economic visions, and what they have said today and what they've been saying for years is they cannot realize those economic ambitions unless they see de-escalation around this region and economic integration. And that's really important. And the big news, of course, coming out of Riyadh has been the lifting of sanctions on Syria and the meeting, which lasted just over 30 minutes between the US president and the Syrian president. From the Syrian side, that was about ensuring they get support for recovery and reconstruction of the Syrian economy once those sanctions are lifted. This country needs something like 400 billion in aid in order to get itself back on its feet. It's been decimated as an economy over the years under the stewardship of Bashar al-Assad. So that's the big news today, but do expect the files on Gaza to be discussed here. The US and Iran has playing a really important mediation role on Syria, on Lebanon, and around this region. So if we're seeing the intersection of sort of business opportunities, economic security opportunities for President Trump, we are also seeing the emergence of a regional diplomacy and possibly the turning of the page by the US administration in US policy on the Middle East. John.
Becky Anderson, we'll be following the president's trip step by step. Thank you very much.
After hours on the stand already, it's a testimony that was raw, emotional, and graphic. Cassie Ventura is returning to continue testifying today against her former boyfriend, Sean Diddy Combs, in his sex trafficking and racketeering trial. Ventura is the woman that Combs is seen attacking in that hotel video in 2016. She is seen as a key witness for the prosecution's case here. And for nearly 5 hours yesterday, she detailed what she says were years of sexual and physical abuse by Combs, and for crying on the stand as she described the drug-fueled, days-long sexual encounters with male prostitutes orchestrated Combs in what he called freak-offs. She said that they made her feel disgusting and humiliated, and also, quote, that they made a job where there was no space to do anything else but and just try to feel normal again. Ventura testified that the attack caught on hotel video came after she tried to actually leave one of those sessions early and saying that Combs had attacked her in the same way too many times to count. Combs' lawyers argued that the sexual arrangements were consensual. We'll continue to hear that. But on what we learned yesterday and what that means then for another day of what will be riveting testimony, joining me right now is CNN legal analyst and criminal defense attorney Joey Jackson. So, Joey, let's talk about yesterday, because it will inform what will continue this morning. What are your biggest takeaways from the beginning of testimony from this star witness for the prosecution?
Well, good morning to you. I think we have to look at first the nature of the relationship, right? First, you're going to examine the power dynamic as between the two, that was described in chapter and verse, because a lot of what we've heard, certainly you mentioned it, is wrong, right? It concerns the nature of how they engage in their activities, who orchestrated the activities, what was expected and anticipated, what they do, baby oil, the type of baby oil, the type of drugs, the state, the guns, etc. I think critical to that is when you look at the issue of consent, you're looking to see whether she said, no, I'm not going to do this. I don't want to do this. Leave me alone. Or did she say no upon who he was and who she was? And so first you're going to examine that. That's first and foremost. Second, you're going to pivot to the issue when you talk about force, fraud, or coercion. Now we know the relationship itself was really very complicated. It was a relationship. And when you talk about what he did to her, wow, right? Awful stuff and certainly things that should never occur. The issue then is whether it's a federal crime.
coercion to otherwise sex traffic her. We heard about relations being engaged in New York, in Miami, and Los Angeles, right? Other places, and that gets you to the interstate, or you there by force, fraud, or coercion. And then finally, Kate, as it relates to all of this, whether or not we heard about his assistance, and yet many people who would help him, was this part of a criminal enterprise? So I think we want to keep our eyes on the prize and not only examine the horrific nature of the relationship, but examine whether or not that creates a federal offense. That, at the end of the day, is what we're here for, and that's what prosecutors have to prove.
And prosecution continues with testimony today, and then after that, she will face cross-examination from the defense. And we're going to be here for all of it. Joey, thank you very much for starting us off. We'll be leading on you for more of this. Thank you. John.
By breaking overnight, quote, I killed my mom and dad. I made no excuses. Lionel in court as a judge for the first time opens the possibility of parole for his brothers. And how much would that cost to convert the $400 million free gift of a luxury jet into Air Force One? And Larson returned to one of his
Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your vote is widely obeyed. My vote is for no. Whatever your vote protected by ensuring and weather person, one vote insurer. Residential teachers are benefited against reasonable
That first cup of coffee until the beers kick in. Your stomach feels bloated and you start to crash. There's the joy out of coffee, right? It's try everyday dose. It's coffee plus benefits. Everyday dose combines 100% Arabica coffee with lion's mane, chocolate, L-theanine, and collagen protein. It's the result of a great tasting coffee that improves your focus, memory, and health while relentlessly your skin, hair, nails, and joints. Side effects of your typical coffee behind. Get upgrade to everyday dose. No crash, no jitters, no gut issues. For a limited time, you can get 45% off the 30 serving bag of Coffee Plus with Code Radio. That's 85 cents a cup. And with a subscription, you get over $100 for free gifts. It's ships free. Upgrade your coffee today and go to everydaydose.com. That's everydaydose.com. And use code radio to get 45% off your first bag with free shipping. Everydaydose.com and use code radio. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, or prevent any disease.
with rising costs, slower consumer demand. It's clear the economy is softening, and the road ahead may be uncertain for small businesses. That's why now is the time to secure access to working capital before you need it. Revenue. Unlike many of those businesses based on revenue, not just your personal credit score. Get access to dollars as fast as one business day. Funds are available on demand. Just draw what you need when you need it and only pay for what you use. There are no application fees, no maintenance fees, no draw fees. And with our Revenue Flex line, your available funds replenish as you repay, giving your business the breathing room to stay resilient. 10,000 business owners use Revenue to power through their uncertainty. We're rated excellent on Trustpilot with over 900 5-star reviews. Apply now at tryrevenue.com. That's tryrevenue with a D.com. Apply today. Ready for whatever comes next. This is an ad by BetterHelp. Mental health awareness is growing, but there's still work to be done. 26% of Americans recently surveyed have avoided seeking mental health support due to zero judgment. When people hesitate to seek support, it doesn't just affect them, it impacts families, workplaces, and entire communities. Mental health awareness month. Let's encourage everyone to take care of their well-being and to help break the stigma, because the world is better with emotionally healthy people. At BetterHelp, we have over 10 years of experience reaching right there. So you can access support from the finest people and on your schedule. Keep our life therapy track or share with a loved one. Whether it's regular maintenance, help with reading a loss. It's a great tool for your wellness. We're all betterhealth.com/see it today. Series XF 116.